And so we get down to our last two picks. At 29, the Anaheim Ducks, and Emerson Etem remains our highest ranked player still on the board, the California kid.
Well, this is a fascinating pick. This is the first round pick the Ducks got from Philadelphia as part of the Chris Pronger trade. Had the Flyers lost the shootout against the Rangers on the final day of the regular season and missed the playoffs, this would have been the 10th pick in the draft. But because the Flyers made the playoffs, it went to number 15. But because the Flyers went to the conference final, it went to 27. But because the Flyers went to the Stanley Cup final, it drops to 29. Bob Murray has spent the last 2 months helplessly watching this draft pick drop down 19 spots in the draft.
I don't know how he feels about the pick, but if he's got any sense of drama, he's going to go up and say Emerson Etem.
He's from Long Beach, California, which is just outside Anaheim, and it might bring the house down for Anaheim, which is not a popular team here in Los Angeles.
Right. Anaheim is proud to select from Long Beach, California, Emerson Etem.
What a moment.
He left Long Beach, California to go play at Shattuck St. Mary's in Faribault, Minnesota. Then he went to play for Willie Desjardins and the Medicine Hat Tigers in Alberta. He had 37 goals this season playing for the Medicine Hat Tigers. He's a physical fitness fanatic, Bob.
Yes, he is. He's been training with T.R. Goodman, the noted Southern California strength and conditioning guy, since he was 14 years old. He would rollerblade, take the train, take a bus, 2 hours to get there every day, working out with guys like Rob Blake, Sean O'Donnell, and many others. He's a popular guy here in Southern California. Snoop Dogg's adopted him.
He's got tremendous speed, and the one thing about him is he knows how to score, but Bob, one of the knocks on him, he's not a creative playmaker. It's a simple game for him, but his acceleration and his poise with the puck, especially around the net, very solid.
Well, the Ducks brought the Stanley Cup to Southern California in 07. Now they bring a Southern California in through the draft, so that makes some history, and so too does the fact that he's the 10th American drafted in the first round. That ties a record for U.S.-born players picked in the first round of the draft. There's one more pick to come. That's Chicago. If Chicago should take an American, that would be the 11th and break the record. But for Emerson Etem, what a moment. And there is the look. In 06 and 07, there were 10 Americans taken. Now again in 2010, after a couple of down years for U.S.-born players, at least as far as the first round goes. But this is very reminiscent of what we saw last year in Montreal when Louis LeBlanc was taken by the Canadians. And what a moment for Emerson Etem.
Absolutely, from an incredibly athletic family. His dad, Richard, was a rower at Navy at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. His mom, Patricia, a former U.S. Olympian in rowing, did not get to go to the Moscow Games because of the boycott, but was able to row in Los Angeles.
Thank you.
And his brother and sister, both on the under-23 rowing team for the United States right now. So phenomenally athletic. He does his work on the frozen pond as opposed to in the water. But you hit it, Pierre. Tremendous blinding speed, maybe a little bit of tunnel vision. Big-time pro release, dangerous off the rush. Not a guy that's going to be a playmaker, going to try and be a goal scorer. And the California Wave kids are coming and coming big. Shane McColgan plays for the Kelowna Rockets. He'll be up in this spot next year as a potential high-end first-round pick. 30-plus goals for him in the Western Hockey League and the Kelowna Rockets.
And
look at that,
Scott
Niedermayer.
That's
awesome.
Scott Niedermayer.
That is awesome.
I thought this kid might get drafted by the Colorado Avalanche. He's a phenomenal artist. I mean, and Brad Smith was interviewing him from the Colorado Avalanche and said, "Can you really draw as good as people say?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Okay, fine. You got 1 minute to draw a picture of me." The kid pulled out a piece of paper and drew a caricature of Brad Smith that Brad Smith, still Motor City Smitty, still has at home. I thought they might take him. I guess they like his drawing better than his hockey playing ability, but I'll tell you what, the Ducks like him at 29, and this is a phenomenal story for Southern California. One of the big stories in this draft.
There's Henry Samueli, the owner of the Anaheim Ducks, and Emerson Etem becomes more than a first-round pick. He becomes a very important figure for hockey in Southern California.